Good morning, 3-4s, and welcome to this morning's writing lesson on information reports. The learning intention for today's lesson is we are learning to plan, draft and publish informative texts, and to be successful in today's lesson, you need to be able to do the following. I can take notes on a text I'm reading, I can paraphrase important information into my own words, and I can sort notes into information that is similar. When we write information reports, we need to find out information, of course. Unless you are writing about your special subject, you will not know everything there is to know. So you need to get the information and you need to be able to record the information you find. Now, in the next few slides, we're going to be having a look at a text called Dragons. I'm going to read through this text and show you some things that I wrote down that interest me on post-it notes, including technical words. So let's have a look at the first example. So on the left-hand side, you can see the page, more than a monster. When you imagine a dragon, does it breathe fire? Maybe you picture a friendly dragon, or perhaps it looks like a snake. How you think of a dragon likely depends on your culture and the myths you've heard about this monster. So the note that I took away from that page, my note for myself is dragons aren't monsters. So as you're reading, you are taking notes about your topic as you read. So perhaps while I'm reading the text, you might also be mentally trying to think of notes that you might write for these pages. Dragons in ancient myths, including those from China, often had serpentine or snake-like bodies. Chinese dragons lived in lakes, oceans and rivers. They were believed to live underwater all winter and then bring the rains in the spring. My note from that was dragons live in lakes, oceans and rivers. Your mental note might have been different to mine, and that's absolutely fine. The purpose of this activity is you are just writing down or thinking of notes in your head as you are listening. Other Asian dragons. Japanese dragons could grow or shrink or even disappear. In Vietnam, a myth says a dragon that kept the country safe created the islands of Ha Long Bay. According to a story from Borneo, a dragon lives on top of the country's Mount Kinabalu. So my note from that page was dragons are associated with different myths in different parts of the world, because we know that page mentioned Japan and Vietnam, so two different cultures. And again, your mental note might have been very different to mine, and that's absolutely fine. Terrible dragons. So where did the idea of dragons as monsters come from? Europe. Myths from the Middle Ages, including evil, dangerous dragons that took huge, like lizards with wings. They breathe fire and sometimes even eat people. So again, think of a mental note that you would have taken from that page. And you can see my example on the right-hand side. The dragon myth came from Europe. I thought that was a very interesting fact, so we know where the concept of dragons originated. So here you can see, now that you have written your notes, you are going to be putting your notes into subheadings or categories for your information report. So what headings would you give those when you are writing out your information report? And also, what technical words did you find related to your topic? So here I have an example of the subheadings that I would have put from my notes for dragons. So my interesting facts, where we still see dragons in many books today. Dragons can be used like symbols. Misconceptions. A lot of people think dragons are monsters, so I put there that dragons aren't monsters. Habitat, so where they live. Dragons live in lakes, oceans and rivers. And origin, where dragons came from. The dragon myth came from Europe. Dragons are associated with different myths in different parts of the world. And as you can see in the orange box on the right-hand side, these are some technical words that I thought were associated to dragons. Fire, myth, culture, descendants, serpentine and dragon throne. Now it is your turn to take notes from your own non-fiction texts and put your notes into category subheadings for your own information report. So some example subheadings that you might use are down the bottom. So for example, you might do subheadings such as habitat, diet, environment, lifestyle, location and physical features. Also remembering to use your technical words. You are taking notes as you're reading your own non-fiction text, putting them into your own categories or subheadings, And then also remembering to write down any technical words that you have come across for your non-information report that you might also like to put in your report when you come up to drafting your copy. If you have any questions from today, of course, please get in touch with your teacher and we will all do our best to answer any questions you might have. Hopefully this was very clear and everybody understands the task. Well done.